You are live, it's telling me. I love, first of all, I love being live because guess what? This is raw, real. There's no script. There's no, ultimately, Tom and I eat, sleep, and breathe the mortgage industry and business development. But there's a whole other side of life that, I really want to get down to the stories of how people got to where they're at today. And I've been working with Tom for 7 years. Tom has been working with AnnieMac since 2012. He is a father of three beautiful children and a husband to the amazing Morgan Mills, who I believe is tuning in. Hey, Mama. So a big part of why I wanted to bring Tom on, he has had such levels of growth from becoming an originator years ago to having his own branch, being a branch manager, and scaling that into a regional vice president role with AnnieMac. And he has been in that seat the last 4.5 years with AnnieMac. And, as you climb new levels, arises new challenges and new areas of untapped potential and unknown territory. So as Tom has navigated his waters and really learned, okay, this is how we can always become sharper, because I'll tell you right now, he and I both agree, you never know it all. And we're constantly evolving, constantly learning. And so many producers have come into our path, mortgage loan originators who are trying to figure it out, right? What's the perfect formula? How do we scale? How do I get my time back in my life with my friends and my family and traveling and having the level that I want to be at? And then wait, all of a sudden you get to that level and you look around and you're like, I want to get to the next level and the next level. And it continues to evolve. So Tom is a production coach. He's a regional vice president. He's a dear friend of mine. He's my personal mentor these last 7 years and just teaching and laying down that foundation. And we both evolve every day. So I'm going to turn it over to Tom. And Tom, thank you for joining me. It's fun when we get to pause and reflect on what we do on a daily basis. So I appreciate you being here.
I really appreciate you having me on, Kelsey. It's an honor. Of course, we've been good friends and working together for 7 years now, so we've had the opportunity to grow together, and we've had a lot of fun. And we've seen ourselves evolve and the people around us evolve, and good stuff. I feel like I'm blessed to be a part of the AnnieMac family. I feel like I'm better at my job. I'm a better person because I've joined this company 8 years ago. It will be 9 years May 12th. So it's been a heck of a run. I didn't really join this organization with the intent of getting to where I'm at. I just kind of ended up there. I think naturally, and Vince tugged my arm a little bit to get me where I am. But it's been a good run and a lot of fun. And last year was an epic year that taught us a lot. A lot of lessons that will propel and help our success in this year and years to come.
Yeah, I mean, when you talk about just the massive amount of business pouring in the doors from rates dipping and people looking to refinance, of course, and trying to keep up with real estate relationships and being ahead of the purchase game. And also, let's be honest, like we were dealing with major staffing solutions. Like we had to step into a world where, wow, business blew up. Therefore, we had to duplicate ourselves and people and technology. And you and I are constantly solving those staffing problems or staffing needs for our AnnieMac family. Your region goes from basically some Jersey down to Maryland, the East Coast, Florida, Texas.
You got it.
Yeah.
Mississippi, Tennessee. Yeah.
So I know there were a couple examples of some loan officers who came to you and were like, Tom, I need a loan partner. I need more processing. I need underwriters. And you were like hands-on with hiring a lot of those folks. What were maybe like one or two or three key levers that you pulled to get those right people in the right seats for our top performers?
First and foremost, last year was very much about survival of the fittest, really. It wasn't about who was the best salesperson. It was really about who had the systems, process, and people to get more loans done than the next person. And that's what led to some epic success for some. And that's what has a lot feeling today like they left a lot of opportunity on the table. So it's really about building that out, and building out where the focus is. We've had some good success stories of some really scalable growth, and I think some things that we do very well here, and some. I have a lot of great tools at my fingertips that brings me analytics, and we rely on those analytics to help run our business. Such as I can tell when someone's activity has risen to a point that they're not possibly able to support that business on their own. We are always recruiting. When we're not in need of recruiting, we're always recruiting, and that's loan officers and operations staff, and looking how we can sharpen that team up as much as possible. But we know that we're doing everything out there to position ourselves to need to continue to grow. Regardless of what the market does, because I firmly believe that we're in complete control of our business and complete control of our success. I think we've had a great deal of success in putting the right people in the right place to be able to do that. Going out after people from many different angles. We've had a lot of success bringing green people into this industry in the support roles, because a lot of my producers have already built the foundation. And when you build the foundation and the systems and the processes and the flows, it's replicable. You can bring somebody else in, and their role is very defined, and you can insert them in, and you can get immediate results. I think a lot of people, leave it on the table because they're scared. Maybe they don't believe in themselves. Maybe they don't believe in the investment into themselves. Or think they can't justify that expense. My great friend and mentor Carl White will use the term the cost of inaction. What is the cost of inaction? And that's what I'm really here to support my teams and make sure that we're just not leaving it on the table. That doesn't mean you don't have to work. That doesn't mean you hire people to do every aspect of things. You got to lead that team, but putting the right people in the right place is what's really helped us propel and really position ourselves for continued sustainable growth. Again, regardless of what our interest rate environment gives us.
Yeah, and your role is so unique because in my experience, when I'm talking to mortgage originators, regional vice presidents may mean different things. Some contribute in different ways. Some may manage in different ways. Some help with recruiting. Some do not. Some, really are a strategic partner, and then some maybe not. So, for you, when you're contributing to a branch or an individual loan officer's production, and you're assessing, and we're looking at it from all angles, right? First off, how are we going to fast track and accelerate production and income, but also have the balance of the operational staff, right? Being able, like you said, staying ahead of the volume. And then also how we identify how we're going to go in and dominate market share, right? Where we can come in and capture as much business as we can with as little people as we can. So for you, when you are partnering with a team, can you just take us through like a quick couple bullet points? Like, what do you really look for? How do you assess? And then lately, what's on some of our calls, without sharing who, what are some things you're diagnosing and prescribing?
Great. I think it all really, for us, it starts with a business plan. So we're not just flying by the seat of our pants and hoping for success. There's very defined goals that were created around November, December throughout this year, and whether that's recruiting goals or adding operations staff or how to grow a business and build the systems and processes around doing that. I'm here to support that. I am not the manager that's here to, light people's feet on fire. I'm fortunate and blessed to have a lot of people around me that have their feet blazing on fire. And, and I'm here to help, put some of those things in place. I'm here to help with some of the tough decisions and really be, the managers I work with, it's just that we're partners together and we make decisions together, and I'm not here to control those decisions. I'm here to help with a vision and sometimes play the devil's advocate through that vision, but helping kind of put it in place to get them where they're trying to get to and reach their goals. to reach those goals, there's agreed upon activity that branch manager or that producer does and is responsible for, and that's the most important activity, on that team, because if they can't fulfill that part of it, then it's time to reassess the goals. But we want to continue to climb and grow. What was the last question you had?
It was more so like, for example, I know yesterday we were on the phone with a producer who was wanting to expand in multi-satellite offices. And I know the hands were tied a little bit where they were located because there was someone else in that market, who did very little production. I know a big part of your strategy in going into a new location, where AnnieMac might not be well known, some of those launch ideas and strategies, the way we campaign and the real estate offices, how we come in and actually build out an infrastructure to complement, both sales coaching, technology, designations. So really a little bit on how you prescribe. And I think you answered the question. So as far as like some real world examples, which we're actually going to be bringing on some live folks today. I wanted to surprise you guys. I did put out a post earlier of who they are. We've got Nathan Fitzgerald and we have Andy Craig, who are going to be tuning in, two people that are in Tom's region that have expanded beautifully, because it's not just about increasing production. It's about having a balance, having a work-life balance, having, Nathan's got 4 kiddos at home that are little, and he's trying to be the best father he can be and represent and show himself as a reputable, of course, incredible mortgage professional in the community. So there's a lot that you do behind the scenes to make sure that their plates are cleared, and we're constantly assessing as we grow. If you could share just a little bit on what your, day to day, or some of the things that you may see as challenges, and give an example on how you overcome them.
Well, we're in the mortgage business, so there's a lot of challenges that we're faced with. For me, I tend to keep focused on what I'm good at. I'm not here to fight every challenge. I'm not qualified to fight every challenge that comes about in this business. I'm here to lead people, through that challenge, and that sometimes that's emotionally. Sometimes there's a strategy behind that. Sometimes we need to brainstorm, and I need to direct. Look, every challenge can be solved. Fortunate with a lot of great people and a lot of key places here and that work with me, and I don't have to do everything. I don't find myself being sucked into operations and things like that, which allows me to focus again on the things that I'm good at. If the challenge is how to grow, if the challenge is how to get more business, that's one of the easiest things I think in this business to do is to get more leads. The challenge comes in how to fulfill it and how to deliver the world-class service that keeps that business coming back again. We work through that by again just staying kind of in front of the numbers and really hiring great people. I'm asked all the time, whether it's sales or operations people, I get that question very often, like, what are you looking for? And my answer every single time you've heard before is I'm looking for awesome people. I just want more awesome people to work with and to surround myself with that I can learn from and thrive from and my team can feed off of and keep propelling through those challenges. They're going to come. It's a part of it. One of the first things I learned in this business is to focus on the things you can control. So I do that, and I know that the challenges, the problems that come about that seems like the biggest problems, you overcome that hurdle, you get past it, you learn from it, and you get better from it. That's really what we work to do.
Well, it's funny because I called you yesterday and was like, Tom, like, you are a problem solver, right? Like I handle a lot of education. We're constantly solving problems together, but you handle more of face on. And I said, how do you not attach emotion to it? How do you create this guard and it doesn't drain you, it fuels you? And I think for you, like you said, it's just no emotion and it's pure problem solving. And when you have the same goal to solve a problem, you're going to get to the other side. And that's years of conditioning. It's years of endurance building. You've clearly set yourself up for that. So, what's really cool too, is I've got these two guys waiting in the wings. I'm going to bring them in. Let me go ahead and do that. Hello, guys. We are live. Good. Thanks for jumping on. So I am going to let Tom talk a little bit about you guys, and as we have you on our panel today, I'll just do a quick intro. So Nathan, out in Rockville, Maryland, as I mentioned, father of 4 little ones and his beautiful wife, Mercedes. We are so grateful. Nathan joined AnnieMac April of 2019.
That's right.
And you were doing, you were a single top loan officer at your company before you came to AnnieMac, but you were kind of a one-man band, and you were doing roughly 22 million a year, and you finished in 2018. And I believe in 2020, you and your team rocked out at like 87, 91 million, something like that.
Yeah, right about there. Mm-hmm.
Like, talk about speed, endurance, productivity, pursuit, passion, fire. Like, you brought it all. And Andy, father of 2 beautiful little girls who I just absolutely adore, and your wife, I've had plenty of time spent on President's Club trips, and it's so special to see the growth. And you've been with AnnieMac for how many years, Andy Craig?
2012, January 2012 is when I got it. So, yeah.
You know what, buddy? I'm having a hard time hearing you.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Can you guys hear him?
It's very low.
Yes, it's low.
Let me switch off real quick.
It's okay. Take your time.
He's muted now.
You're muted. I'm unmuting you.
Sorry about that.
There we go.
Oh, we're good.
I apologize. Sorry about
You're
that.
fine.
January 2012 is when I got with AnnieMac. So it's been a long ride. Yeah, we're approaching almost 10 years now. It's crazy. Awesome.
10 beautiful years. And Andy, I know you've added some amazing people to the team. You've got, some LOs that are actually looking to join now, and you've stepped into an amazing seat. Can you share, Andy, a little bit of your production, like kind of when you started with AnnieMac and fast forward to today?
Sure. 2012. Geez, it's going back a little bit of time. So I mean, at that time, maybe I was doing like 12 million a year or something like that, maybe $1 million a month or just under that. And then continue to plug into the systems and the vision. That's one thing I want to say. AnnieMac has an incredible vision. And when I got started with AnnieMac, they were young in starting, and I bought into that, right? You have to buy into something, I think. And I bought into that, and I subscribed to it. And so we continued to grow over the years. And now you come to last year, I did just over 34 million. And we grew the branch from, thank you. We grew the branch from 2019's production was about 54 million. And we were $1 million short of 100 million last year. So,
We'll give it to you. You basically hit 100. Good for you.
But the numbers don't lie, so you gotta go by the numbers. But
That's
but
the truth.
but along the way, just the growth that we've seen, not only in sales within the branch, but we have an operations team, man, that I can't believe it, and that's from just subscribing to what the leadership at AnnieMac, their philosophy and their vision, subscribing to that. Gentlemen like Tom, I've known Tom for many years, and I've seen his growth. And now being a regional vice president for myself, him and I talk, if it's not every day, it's every other day, right? And we're talking about different things that we're able to put in place. And what does, we do talk about a lot is what doesn't work. And how do you fix that? It's because it's not always roses, right? There's always challenges, and we're not afraid to talk about those challenges and then get better. So I hope.
Amen.
I hope that
you said it beautifully, and it's so cool to see the loyalty, the love, and clearly you've adapted and you've taken in different things that work really well for your team, which you both have done so well. Yeah. So Tom, you clearly been working with this group for many years and a few short years, but at the same time, massive growth. Like, first off, when you started with this group and as you evolved, like, what did that growth path look like, and what are some of those success stories out of these two?
Oh man, I mean, first of all, I learn a lot from these two every single day myself. So it's a pleasure and an honor to call them friends and get to work with them, because it's the relationship that I can have with both of you and the things that we can work through, I think we can accomplish, and we will accomplish anything that comes our way. I think the key with how we work together is that we're never working in our business. We're working on our business. We don't, I'm not really, Nathan, we weren't up till midnight the other night talking about loan scenarios. We were talking about much more important things to get us to the next level. And Andy, our morning talks after you drop your daughter off to school and gets her on the school bus is, it's about actionable stuff and steps we're trying to take together. I'll start kind of Andy on the left. We were friends before we started, before I got into my leadership role, and admired him quite a bit. And, what I think he's done, I mentioned earlier in the call, 2020 was very much about the survival of the fittest. And he or she who had the best teams and the best systems and processes just so happened to do the most amount of loans. Andy was really able to benefit from that. Really. And I think, Andy, what I'm more proud of, than your 2020, success and volume is really the foundation I think you built within your team inside of 2020, and what we learned from COVID and what we learned we were capable of, and how we learned how to put the right people in the right places. And Andy had one of a rock star on his team leave his team because, and come back and came back in a whole different mentality because she really respected the leadership that was there within that group and from Andy, and he gives tremendous leadership to his team in every facet in define leadership. He's really built such a strong team, and we've made some recent changes that I'm super, super stoked about, where we've promoted his processor, Jody, to a branch operations manager. And the intent of that is, Jody was very much a part of building those systems out, and she deserved that promotion. And it helps Andy. It helps get Andy out of more things, and that's what we're always focusing on. How can we get him more of his time and divide that time between his team and his family and his business partners, and continue to grow and support the other people in the team. And Jody's going to do a phenomenal job leading the operations side as Andy really steps away from that. And that was a part of our plan all along, and we put the right people in place to enable that to happen just as we kind of envisioned it. It's really happening at the right time because Andy's got just a lot of really, really big time stuff in the works right now that's just going to make his business explode. With Nathan, it was just a couple of short years ago, we got the opportunity to work together, and I see how far he's come. And, I remember, 2 weeks after you started, Nathan, I remember sitting in your office, and I remember going through. Nathan keeps all of his statistics from year to year on an Excel sheet, and it was the same amount of business every year, which is very much impressive in itself to maintain your business. But he talked about how he was always in that. It was just him and Douglas, and that's what came here is him and Douglas and a part-time assistant, and doing $2 million a month, and now he's running a $100+ million a year branch and crushing it in personal production and leading two originators that I just think the world of, that are truly committed to this business, and they're working on their business and the service that they provide to their referral partners. And Nathan, what we've really done is evolve, and we've focused a lot on delegation and empowering others to do what Nathan, quite frankly, isn't good at or wasn't really in his highest and best use. That's a term that we use in this organization very frequently. These guys get paychecks every month, and it's not to do certain things, and it is to do certain things, and we're here to make sure that they're doing the things that their job is. We're very much believers in the format of the mortgage marketing animals, and we do acts of freedoms with all of our producers, and we define what their role is. We define what their assistant's role is. We define what their business development person's role is, what their loan partner to, what their processor's role is, what the person that answers the phone or greets the customers when they come in the door, on down the line, and we all lead together with that mentality that Bill Belichick or Nick Saban mentality of each person stays in their lane and does their job and owns that job and does it really, really well. And it starts with these guys, to do their job and lead by that example. And they've done that. And that's helped people follow them and learn from them and grow because of them and grow with them. And we're all mutually benefiting from it. And it's a beautiful thing to be a part of every day.
Beautifully said. And these guys both have tons and tons of experience. Sorry, perks of working from home. The dog is gonna go off. And somebody's on my door. Tom, take it over. I'll be right back.
Pre-COVID, that was unacceptable, but it seems like if you're not on a Zoom call that has a dog bark in the background now, it's just not the same. But yeah, kind of back to that stuff. I mean, congrats to you guys. I'm happy to have you join here. We've got just a million of these same success stories. Andy, maybe share a little bit of comment, just a brief minute on some of the things I touched on, and maybe Nathan, you can do the same.
Yeah, Nathan, why don't you go first? I already gave a couple comments there, so go ahead. Take the floor.
Sure. Yeah.
Gentlemen.
What's not, there's so many, I don't even know where to pick from. It's Tom, you touched on a lot of the stuff. I think, some key things that I was able to take away, just reflecting back, over the past 2 years and even reflecting back over the past year is because kind of, as you said, year after year, I kind of reached this plateau. I couldn't punch through this level. And it really came down to support. And not just support, but what type of support are you really getting? So it's just not about having a cheerleader, that's saying, hey, great job and keep it up. It's about having strategic alliances, because that's really how I see this is, what AnnieMac has allowed me to do is to tap into a wealth of knowledge and expertise that is way beyond what I was ever able to tap into. So, I've been able to observe and learn just by watching how corporate handles things, how they segregate everything into, everyone's an expert at something, and that we lean into our leaders, we lean into our team, and we don't try to do their job. And that's very contrary to what I was kind of how I grew into this business. I grew into this business. You needed to know how to do everything, and you needed to be the smartest guy in the room. And everybody had to be able to tap into you, and that was your value. And I'm coming to realize that is the exact opposite of what I need to achieve. That I actually don't want to be the smartest guy in the room. In fact, if I am the smartest guy in the room, that's a problem for my growth. And so it's all about identifying the best of the best of the best, the top 1% and the top 5% that's possibly out there. And so, just leaning into my team, whether it's at the corporate level or if it's at my branch level, every time I'm interviewing someone, I'm not looking for skill. I'm not looking for a long list of resume of all the things that they did. What I'm really looking for more than anything else is I'm looking for character. And I look at the organization as a whole, and there's a lot of great companies out there that are doing a lot of impressive things. But the one thing that I haven't seen very often is the character of a company that I want to be aligned with. And so all the way from the top, all the way to the bottom, it doesn't matter who you're talking to. These are people that I want to jump on the bus with. And I use that term from a book called Good to Great from Jim Collins. And I really identify with that. You want to have people on your bus that are going to go with you wherever it is that you're headed. Not because you're headed to a particular destination, but because they're like, you know what? I don't know where you're going, but I want to be on the bus with you. And so that's kind of how I feel about AnnieMac as a whole. And that's kind of what I'm looking for when I'm bringing people onto my team.
That's gold. You preach some good word, Nathan. And one thing I want to point out, and if you could elaborate your experience in working with Funnel IQ, our proprietary auto follow-up text system. And I know we've talked about this, and I've seen the messages as the system has nurtured some of your clients along the process, where you talk to them maybe one time and then 8 months go by and the system is educating them and fulfilling their needs and making sure that everything is lock and step. How has that helped create organic business for you that you didn't really have to go out and find?
Yeah, very easy to talk about this. So, CRM is something that, you know, every business really needs. A good CRM system. You know, being in this industry for now just over a decade, it was always something that, you know, we talked about, that we need a good CRM. The reason why I never had one was because it was just too much work. I always had to do something in order for it to work. And our proprietary CRM system is out of this world. I mean, it does all the work for me. I never have to do anything with it. It's always in the background working for me. And so I constantly see how emails, I'm getting replies back from emails for emails that I didn't know were going out, but they're not just happy birthdays and, you know, generic stuff. I mean, these are very specific, time sensitive types of information that's hitting my clients, my borrower, my database, I guess in the right moment, because there's a high level of engagement. And so I've had people that I don't even know reach out to me asking me for, you know, particular services. And so it's at that point that I'm picking up the engagement and engaging them and closing them. So yeah, it's been incredible.
Yeah.
It's powerful. So Andy, as far as, you know, as you have been with AnnieMac almost 10 years,
Yeah.
and as you've evolved, what's been one of the most crucial things as far as laying down that foundation of your business? And as you've added new people in, kind of steadying the wobbling baby and then continuing to watch them grow and eventually fly?
So great question. I think it, you know, outside of the day-to-day operations, you know, you have to define in a leadership role or in any role, I think you have to really define why you're doing what you're doing, right? You have to find that purpose. And if you have that focus of why you're getting up every single day to do what we do, especially over the last year, it's been insane, right? I know all of our colleagues in the industry have just, I don't care if you're a realtor, loan officer, processor, whoever it is, you got to figure out why I think you want to do what you do. And I think that's the main foundation, right? Who is it that you want to serve? Is it your family, your community? Is it anything outside of just obtaining the dollars? Because the dollars, I get it, you know, we have to make a living, and those things are going to come if you do the right things, I believe. So defining what you want to do is massive, and then create good habits on top of those things. So if you figure out what it is that you want, and then put good processes and folks in place to help you get there, I think that's one of the main things that I learned from the leadership at AnnieMac. Specifically, I've been here a while, like I said. So Joe P., the owner of our company, him and I have had very, very intimate conversations early on in my start here, and even up until last week, right? And this is someone that's the CEO that I could text him at any time and he'll get back to you. That's pretty cool, I think that's awesome, right? And able to have those, you know, those conversations, and then everybody else within the company. Anytime you need somebody, you give them a call, and you know, and they're there. So, and what I preached in the chaos of 2020 within my branch, I quickly figured out 45 days into it. I'm like, this market's crazy. We have a responsibility to make sure that it functions properly. This branch has a responsibility to make sure the market is functioning properly. We could have a domino effect with transactions, okay? So let's all take ownership of the people that are in our sphere. Make sure that we're doing things the right way. And we became attractive to agents we weren't working with, specifically our listing agents, because based on the training that we have here and the coaching that we have here, you know, it's about trying to get new relationships and talking to new folks and getting them into your sphere and letting them experience what you can bring to them. So we were reaching out to listing agents and letting them know what was happening within the market. And hey, our buyers buying your property, and what can we do to help you? And they were like, this is crazy. People are calling me. The loan officer never calls us, right? So just doing things a little bit differently, I think. And I think it all goes back to figuring out why you want to do this and creating really good habits around that. Atomic Habits is a book that I read in 2020. I highly suggest you read it, by James Clear. Figuring out what you want and how to get there. It's all about your habits.
It's so cool to see how different messages connect. So quick story. Yesterday, Matt Miller, our new Annapolis branch manager, by the way, he's been in the business like maybe 5 years, did 100 million last year. His brother, in the first time being in the business, did 22 million. Like, they are off to the races. And with that said, he sent me this video, and it was explaining OQP, only quality people. And you said it perfectly, Andy, where what matters most is your why, and you don't become what you want, you become what you are. So when you use those, you create those habits. When you don't so much write down a list of things you want, you have to write down the list of habits you need to possess, characteristics that you need and qualities that you really need to work on in yourself. And when a team all collectively thinks like that, and that's what we say about protecting who comes into our ecosystem, because ultimately they have to be there to either serve, or if they're not there to serve, then it's just not a fit. You guys are amazing. And Tom, is there anything you want to add or highlight on these two before we wrap up with the two of them?
Now, just excited to keep it going and continue riding the train. We started some time ago, guys. So just a pleasure to work with you both.
Yeah, buddy.
Likewise.
Ditto. Thank you, guys. I promise to keep this short, sweet, so you can get back to your powerful days. I love you all. Tom, hang on with me, and Nate and Andy, have a great weekend, and can't wait to see what 2021.
See you, everybody. All right, take it easy. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Bye. Awesome. I feel like I'm like got my own TV show going on here, tuning people in, tuning people out. These guys are really amazing, though, and as they've continued to follow your leadership. Talk to us, Tom, about clearly we're in the recruiting space together, but as you've seen your apps tripling and the intake of new business and new markets that we're opening, like, what's the growth looking like from years prior to now? And, how are you feeling like our team is handling that from an onboarding perspective and just capturing the business?
Yeah, I think, now when we talk about, adding great people to this organization, if we go down the path of sales recruiting, I remember when we first started doing this together years ago, we didn't have the analytics, we didn't have the numbers, we didn't know the statistics of the person that we're talking to, and everybody was a $50 million producer, But I found that, we've been more narrowed in our focus. We know what type of person really fits into this organization, and we do a good job together of getting to know each other to see if it's a fit. And I think it's one of the reasons we have such a high retention rate. People come here and they grow, and they don't come here to leave. I think as we kind of go forward, it's about it's just attracting talent from every angle into this organization. And I feel like we've very well positioned ourselves to attract some of the top talent in the industry. And that's what I get to speak to every day, and it's a lot of fun. I talk to some really great people about this company, and I believe everything that I say, and I don't really, I don't feel like as I'm recruiting people to join this organization, I'm selling them anything. And if I'm selling them anything, I believe in everything that I'm saying. From an onboarding standpoint, really about having a plan. I mean, that's our theme. You hear with these guys, but back to recruiting and back to onboarding, there's a very specific plan we have with that. And that plan today is slightly different than the plan was yesterday or a month ago or a year ago, because we got to be able to maneuver, and we got to bob and weave and adapt to changing times. The times have certainly changed for us. But yeah, I mean, we've attracted top talent. I think we'll continue to do that. I think we'll continue to groom top talent, and we've been able to identify that talent in various different roles, and looking at disc personality profiles, and just adding great people into this organization. And I think that there's always room for that. I'm never going to not hire somebody that's great. There's never going to be a reason for that, because I know that our branch leaders and our production leaders are doing everything they're supposed to do, and they're following their plan, and that plan, and I believe so much in it, that just continues to evolve, and it continues to grow, and that means we continue to need more people to support the many, many more families and referral partners that we get the opportunity to serve. But yeah, you know, we've got a good thing going here, and we have a lot of fun doing it. And I get to come to work and work with my best friends every single day, you included, Kelsey. You know, I think we've got a lot of real people here, and I think, you know, as we get the opportunity to talk to more people and tell our stories, you know, we find opportunity to align. You know, I think one of the reasons for our retention, one of the biggest reasons for our retention, and one of the biggest reasons people join us is because you don't need to leave here to grow. You know, you don't need to. There's nothing you can accomplish somewhere that you can't absolutely accomplish in this organization. However, on the flip side, and why people join it here is because there's a lot you can accomplish that you can't accomplish in other organizations. And it's because of the mentality and the philosophies of our leadership. And with the role responsibility as of a top producer, you know, and we really try to keep that focus there. You know, it's one of my pet peeves about the mortgage industry, to be honest with you, is that we are in a sales industry, but loan originators in this industry as a whole spend way more of their time doing fulfillment than sales, and that's just never really added up to me. So we try to buck that trend a little bit, and we try to get fulfillment people in, and we try to put salespeople to put their sales hats on. And you know, sometimes, you know, what's beautiful is we can build systems and processes around anything. You know, last year was very much around the systems and processes to enable us to take on the massive amount of business that we were blessed to receive. This year, it's about different systems and processes. It's about sales systems and processes, and getting back to the basics and what we do, what we know works, because at some point, the loans aren't all going to continue to fall out of the sky. But we've learned a lot of life lessons, a lot of business lessons last year that have got our foundation in a really, really, really good place to continue to have growth. But it just takes a different process. So, you know, we're focusing on what those sales processes are. You know, case in point, next week, company-wide, Monday through Thursday, we're doing power hours. We're all jumping on Zoom. We're prospecting. We're calling. We're reaching out to people, asking who we can help, asking for referrals. You know, continue to build on our relationships together, and we're going to use each other to motivate to do that. You know, some people are seeing such high amounts of intake of leads still that, you know, we're adding layers, and we're building, you know, systematic stuff to not let anything fall through the cracks. You know, I mentioned earlier that, you know, funny thing about top producers is they don't just gloat about what they've accomplished. They stress about what they left on the table, you know, and that's a thing that we're trying to work through together, is to make sure that, you know, we're not leaving anything on the table, any opportunity left, you know, anything that we can accomplish out there, we want to accomplish, and sometimes that's bucking some trends against what our competition does, but we're having a lot of fun doing it, and I think that we've got a lot of good times ahead.
A lot of good. I mean, Paul Zinn, our SVP of Biz Dev, and myself were looking at the last 2 months and how much volume that I had put into our active pipeline, not exploratory, not, you know, we call it level 2s, level 3s, people that are kind of just dipping their toes in the water, and it's very organized in the back end. FYI, if you guys are in the recruiting world, I'm happy to share some of our strategies. But January and February, I added 500 million each month to the pipeline. That's $1 billion the last 2 months that are high probability of coming on board. And we are blowing our business plan out of the water. My business plan is $1 billion for the company. I'm starting to think maybe we should have said like 3 billion. Yeah. But and I can't do it without Tom, who's my anchor, who is really the production coach who comes in with me. And ultimately we all are stronger together than apart. So Tom, thank you for joining. I always love to end every Inside Edge episode with picking one word that inspires you today, in this moment, this week, this year, just the theme of your life in either this moment in time or for the year. What word first comes to mind?
You know,
this is one thing I don't prep anybody on.
Now, you know, honestly, I mean, just the opportunity to be on here with you, Kelsey, and everything that you've done for me in my career, and the friendship that you've had, and the two that joined here, and Nathan and Andy and the working relationship, the friendship that I have with them, the things we've accomplished together, and the excitement about what we can accomplish. Just one word is grateful. I'm very, very grateful for it all. I want to continue to be that and enjoy the ride. But very grateful, and that gratefully leads to a lot of hope. And there's my wife with a comment there, and I'm certainly extremely grateful for my beautiful wife and the support that I get from her. And I couldn't do it without you, babe. And her picture has our beautiful little son there. And it's Friday. I'm gonna cut out a little bit early today and go spend some time with my family.
Oh, amen. I hear you. Me too. I'm going wedding dress shopping today.
All right. I can't wait for that wedding.
Big life events, and Tom, I couldn't agree more. You've become a big brother to me, and you've taught me so much. And I have little things that I always think of. Oh, Tom said this. Remember to do this, and they stick with you forever. And we continue to grow. I got goosebumps. So truly, I love you so much good. And here's the best part: we're just getting started. So rock on.
No doubt. Appreciate
All right,
you.
everybody. See you next time. Peace out.
Take care.